Payday 3 has officially died. Yes, Payday 2 is actually beating it with players. More people seem to be enjoying Payday 2 compared to Payday 3. So anyway, you can check out all the reviews, but the consensus is generally cope and hate. A lot of the complaints are about the game not being available offline, which is a pretty funny complaint because it's a multiplayer game. And then you have other concerns from the community that the skills and the perks and the unlockables and all that isn't as complex as what they had in Payday 2. Now, Payday 2 did have a somewhat complex system, but it was overly complex and wasn't fun at all, whereas the new system is a lot more streamlined. So overall, Payday 3 is a much better game, and in my time playing it, it was definitely a huge improvement over Payday 2. Payday 3 felt like a normal game, although nothing new, nothing too amazing. However, it's a simulator, not a fan of those. It's not solo queue friendly, so yes, it's not really much of a good game for me, but overall it is much better than Payday 2. But the community doesn't want to adapt, they don't want to change, they just want to stay in that Payday 2 slump playing this ancient game. And it's safe to assume that most Payday players also play Counter-Strike. Speaking of Counter-Strike, even though they just released Counter-Strike 2, it has not actually made a dent in the amount of people playing Counter-Strike. Yes, only the people already deep in Counter-Strike are playing it, with no new players really hopping on board, which is somewhat surprising, but then again, the game is also super ancient, super elitist, and pretty much a bad game overall compared to what else is out there. Next we have Starfield, which isn't completely dead, but it is definitely dying. So it's just been a month since its release, and it's gone from around 250,000 players all the way down to 80,000 players, which is quite a slump, and it's only going to keep declining. Now, Starfield overall, it wasn't a terrible game. I've yet to play it, but I've seen enough footage. But the major complaints that most normal people have with it is that it's essentially just another Fallout game, but they changed the title, they changed the branding, they called it Starfield, but it's a lazy Fallout game from Bethesda, so most normal people aren't too interested. Plus it had that super high price tag, 120 Australian or something like 90 US, so it was incredibly expensive, incredibly pretentious, and it's dying off super quickly there. Not too many people are interested or sticking around for that one. However, if you are interested in the complete propaganda and cope that comes out of Bethesda and Starfield, you need only turn to their Twitter, as it shows you that they are really detached from reality. My favourite posts from them are the ones stating that they have 10 million player accounts, and there is no way in hell they got anywhere close to that. Maybe they had 1 million at most, but that has definitely died down and they've got nowhere near that 10 million number. But of course, you don't need to have any sort of evidence to make these crazy claims on the Twitter. And my other favourite photo that they like to post up there is the one from all of the big gaming review sites there, saying this game is a 10 out of 10, it's a 9 out of 10, and no, that game was super lazy, super cheap. I'd probably give it a 5 or a 6 out of 10, but nowhere near being that good as sort of like a 9 or a 10, nowhere close. But Starfield is definitely dying, and you can watch that smolder and burn if you want to, or like I said, check out the Twitter. It is so detached. It is in their own pocket of reality, in some alternate universe where of course Bethesda is right and can do nothing wrong, and they are of course numero uno. Lastly, we have Diablo 4 coming over to Steam. Now this is something they should have done from the get-go, but Battle.net, you know, they like to push out their own technology. They like to say, hey, look how cool we are, and that's why they have their own launcher and store and all that sort of thing, and it's very cool, and you know, we're smart and capable. But anyway, they've decided to move Diablo over to Steam, which is very much welcome. Now, Diablo 4 has definitely run its course and it's no longer a hot ticket item, but it is still super fun if you haven't seen that one. A very solid game, not incredibly amazing in any respect, but it is a solid game and well worth the money. Hopefully they'll be doing a discount, and hopefully there's some sort of way for you to actually transfer your game from your Battle.net account onto your Steam account. That would be awesome and very much appreciated. But yes, Diablo 4 is coming to Steam, and that's going to be there in about a week or two. So yeah, Steam players can actually jump on Diablo, but more than likely, if you're interested in Diablo, you would have already played it by now. And thank you for watching.